Body issues affect many Americans all across the country. Women scrutinize themselves every single day, women of all ages. My friends and I even grew up dieting and looking at our bodies constantly, comparing ourselves to different people. Even my peers now are constantly experimenting with diets and other fad trends in order to improve their bodies. Now, healthy dieting is completely safe and totally fine, but once it becomes an obsession, then it can become unhealthy and can turn into an eating disorder. Eating disorders are preventable, and the public needs to be more educated on them in order to end this epidemic. Eating disorders can often develop at a young age. 50% of teenage girls have experimented with unhealthy dieting. 46% of girls between the ages of 9 and 11 have experimented with dieting. And on a recent college campus survey, 91% of girls said that they had dieted at some point in their life. At such a young age, it is incredible how many women will begin dieting. This is from eatingdisorderhope.com. So it's very evident that nowadays young women seem to want to diet earlier and earlier, and this is a very dangerous trend. Binge eating is also the most common eating disorder, with 2.8 million adults affected in America. This is from healthline.com. And binge eating disorder affects adults mentally and physically. They can get increased blood pressure, and also adults who suffer from binge eating disorder feel feelings of shame and guilt about what they're going through. And they don't understand oftentimes that this is a very treatable and preventable condition. There are many risk factors that I found from eatingdisorder.org that can contribute to whether or not you might develop an eating disorder. 90% of eating disorder victims are in fact female, and so females tend to be at higher risk for an eating disorder. Teenagers are also at a higher risk of an eating disorder as well, and those who grow up in a family with members who suffer from eating disorders. Also, in general, living in a society where there is a focus on being thin can heighten the risk of contracting an eating disorder. And most people know somebody who is at high risk of an eating disorder if they aren't at high risk themselves. So eating disorders affect everybody in some way, shape, or form, and they're so preventable and they need to be stopped. The obsession with being thin ruins so many people's lives at an extremely young age. Eating disorders are a quiet killer. And if we could eliminate the power of eating disorders that it has on this generation, we could raise a new generation that's more confident and powerful and more accepting of themselves and others. Every single person deserves to be confident. Every person deserves to love themselves and their body, and no one should feel the need to torture themselves in order to feel confident in their body. It is our job to raise our young people to know that they are beautiful no matter what, and eating disorders are never the answer.